The biofuel I have chosen for this project is biodiesel. Biodiesel is a renewable, non-toxic, and biodegradable fuel that can be blended with petroleum diesel. It's used in compressed ignition or diesel engines and is a cleaner burning alternative to petroleum-based diesel. Biodiesel has three main sources: vegetable oil, animal fats, and recycled cooking grease. For vegetable oil, soybean oil is the main feedstock for biodiesel in the US. Other countries use rapeseed oil, sunflower oil, and palm oil. From animal fats, these come from meat processing plants. And for the recycled cooking grease, this comes from restaurants. Biodiesel is commercially available in the US and is being implemented through government incentives and legislation. In 2023, the US had a biodiesel production capacity of 2.1 billion gallons per year. This is a significant increase from the small amounts produced in the early 2000s. Biodiesel is the third most consumed biofuel in the US. The U.S. has a number of laws and incentives to support biodiesel, including the Biodiesel Mixture Excise Tax Credit, the Biodiesel Income Tax Credit, and the Renewable Fuel Standard Program. Biodiesel is available in most oilseed producing states. As of January 1st, 2023, the U.S. had biodiesel production facilities in 29 states with a total production capacity of about 2.9 billion gallons per year. About 70% of the production capacity is in the Midwestern states. Biodiesel is cultivated through the process of photosynthesis, where plants like microalgae use sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to produce lipids within their cells, which then can be extracted and converted into biodiesel through a chemical reaction called transesterification. Essentially, the plants capture solar energy through photosynthesis and store it as a chemical energy in the form of lipids that can be used as fuel. During the fermentation process, microorganisms use various renewable materials and convert them into microbial oils, which are further used to produce biodiesel through the centrifugation reactions. Transesterification combines the feedstock with alcohol and a catalyst to create biodiesel and glycerin. The alcohol is usually methanol, and the catalyst is usually sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. Biodiesel has many pros. It's environmentally friendly, biodegradable, renewable, and non-toxic. It's made from natural substances like soybeans and other oilseed crops, and it produces fewer emissions than traditional diesel and can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 85%. It's also very energy secure. Biodiesel can help reduce a country's reliance on imported oil. It can also help keep energy dollars in the US. It can also be used in existing engines and vehicles without any special modifications. It can be pumped, stored, and burned just like petroleum diesel. It's also better for engines. Biodiesel helps engines run better by improving lubricity and reducing particulated matter emissions. Biodiesel production can provide new market opportunities and labor for domestic crops. It also is very good for the carbon footprint. It has a significantly lower carbon footprint compared to petroleum diesel because the carbon dioxide released when burning biodiesel is largely offset by the carbon dioxide absorbed by the plants using to produce it, making it considered carbon neutral in terms of net carbon emissions. Studies often show a reduction of 70 to 80% in carbon emissions when using biodiesel compared to regular diesel. It's also safer. Biodiesel has a higher flash point than petroleum diesel, making it safer to handle and operate. Although it has many pros, biodiesel also has cons. First, its tailpipe emissions. Biodiesel can increase nitrous oxide emissions, which are harmful air pollutants. Also, it can be more expensive than conventional diesel, especially for higher blends. There's also the risk of it gelling in cold weather. Higher blends of biodiesel can gel in the engine in cold weather. Also, it's not as available as regular diesel. Biodiesel is not available at every fuel station, and higher blends are even less common. There's also the matter of storage. Biodiesel needs to be stored at the right temperature. If it's too warm, it can grow mold, and if it's too cold, it can thicken and be hard to dispense. Biodiesel can contain leftover vegetable oil, chemicals, or products of the reaction, making the fuel quality low. Also, growing biodiesel crops can take up valuable cropland, which could increase food prices and scarcity. Then you have the matter of ecological damage. Clearing land for biofuel production can harm ecosystems. Lastly, biodiesel's high lubricity can create deposits in fuel lines, which can clog filters. I think biodiesel is a great fuel option. I think next steps would be to try and find a way to make it more cost friendly, to help with funding, as well as promote it more to the public. I also think the next step should include reaching out to car companies and trying to create cars that only run on biodiesel. This will help promote it as well as show how well it works in a car and for the environment. Lastly, here are my sources. Thank you.